material.
All right. Yeah. Now that I have the laptops and the iPods and all this technology, I'm really trying hard to be more of a facilitator role. And like I was saying, I'll put in my 30 hours on the weekend, making the lessons and doing all the research and stuff. And I want to be able to just sit here and supervise and facilitate and let them be in charge of their learning. But as I was saying, it's really hard because the kids are not used to that, and we, it's a learning curve for me too, because it's all about pacing.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you allow a kid to be on an assignment?
Right.
Before you have to start pushing.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a huge learning curve in the sense that most kids are not used to being in charge of their learning. Most kids are used to being bystanders and just sitting in the desk while the teacher
sitting and getting
sitting
mm-hmm.
and having the teacher think for themselves or
mm-hmm.
think for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really a struggle for a lot of the kids. I mean, it's a huge challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And but they're doing it, and they're learning, and with the technology, I mean, I think it's kind of funny because it's like, okay, we're learning cells, but even more than that, they're learning how to use a computer, they're learning how to use an iPod, they're learning how to put together presentations, how to write, on and on, which is probably more beneficial than knowing the parts of a cell.
So, what are you noticing about their engagement level since you've incorporated more technology in the room?
Well, I mean, it's 100% better. It's huge, and again, I think this whole year has been a real learning curve for everybody and a learning process for everybody, because most of the kids, they get a computer and they get the iPod and they think entertainment
mm-hmm.
and they think play, and so it's been a huge challenge to teach the kids that no, this isn't a play tool, this is a tool we use to learn, and again, that's been a huge challenge, and having to supervise and sometimes have to crack the whip,
mm-hmm.
And this kind of thing, and also another thing that I notice is they'll get lost on the computer, in the sense, like, have you ever started on a computer on a project and pretty soon you're just going and you're looking up other
on a
things.
bird walk, yeah,
and you're just looking up other things, and it's you have to keep the kids paced, and like this class right here that's their biggest challenge, keeping them paced.
What are some strategies you have for pacing them?
Well, like the remote desktop is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to sit here and see what everybody's doing on their computer, setting due dates, having milestones. This, you need to have this done by such and such time. And then one huge thing is sharing online through Google Docs. I mean, that is just, I would have to say, one of the single most important things that I have with the technology in the classroom is Google Docs. And because we communicate that way completely, whether it's through email, they share their work with me, and then the kids automatically have a portfolio because everything's right online, and I can interact with them, and I can sit there and say, oh no, rethink this. And I allow redos on anything, which is, I think that's really important too, because I want them to learn the concept.
Formative. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was your question?
You answered it. Okay. So just ways to pace them,
Yeah. And that's a challenge for me too. And this is why, like here, for example, this, I don't know if you can film it, but I have, I'm sending out a what do I do list for every topic now. And, the content, and of course, language objective, the standards, blah, blah, blah. And then over here, what did you do this? If you did, say yes. And I'm giving them how many, what their class period tentatively should be to complete the assignment, and this is helping.
Good.
And then I'm trying to stick to this myself, and that's been really important too. Kind of giving them a checklist. I think what I would do though is, instead of having the checklist separate, I think I would have the checklist with the activity. because a lot of kids, I have to remind them to go back to it.
Oh, like have it next to all the stuff they're doing.
I have it. Okay, you guys, did you go back to your checklist?
Well, and you could make a Google form out of that and have them do it and submit it to you. Then you don't have to check it off because they can just submit it and it populates that spreadsheet. And
that's true.
Your record keeping is done.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
In fact, that was great. In the Diego thing we got yesterday, I had no clue that I love Google Apps. I had no clue that you can do that in Google. Make the quizzes and stuff. That was like right on.
I know. I love Google. Google should just be everywhere.
I love Google, and unfortunately, we have little issues with the district.
Right.
Which I don't know. Though, doesn't it? Does that sound arrogant?
No. So tell me about the professional development part of this project.
Well, I have to say that I initially started, well, first of all, I'm totally honored to be in the project. I mean, what an incredible opportunity, and to get all the technology, and total dream come true for me, because it's like, and I'm going to say that probably on the professional development side, I first started out maybe a little thinking, okay, I'm beyond most people, and I'm probably not going to get a lot of it out of it, and I have gotten a huge amount out of it. I mean, there's just so much out there, and the Diego is awesome. All these websites, interacting with the teachers, even the teachers that are emailing me questions, it makes me go and find the answers, and I've learned tons of things, and the iPods with Tony Vincent, and on and on and on, and so I feel really grateful that that I'm learning out of it, and that I'm not too big for my britches.
Yeah. How has your teaching changed already, just since the beginning of the school year?
It's changed. In fact, my teaching completely changed once I got the iPods. Even I had the laptops already, but and then adding the iPods in it. Adding the iPods has made such an incredible difference, because it almost was the missing element I needed to completely release the kids on their own. It was that was the missing element. And now with the iPods, because you can put podcasts on there, you can put lectures, you can put tutorials, you can have them interacting with the iPods. There's all these apps, and that was the missing element that I needed. And so I've completely changed my lessons to again go more towards the student in charge of their learning, and more of them, the role as the learner, rather than me as the role of, this is what you're going to do, and me as the role of facilitator. And
it's more student directed.
Completely. And I've made things much more inquiry based, much more, okay, this is a problem, this is what you need to take a look at. Here's the information, here's some resources for you, go figure it out. And I think it's working really well. It's been great. I mean, it's like the kids love it, But then there is that element there, they're not used to it, and we're very slow.
And you've talked before about how much time on your end to prepare these lessons. So is it worth it?
Yeah, absolutely, it is. I mean, and I have to say that I live and breathe my job at this point. I mean, this is all I do every waking moment. I'm here at school, I go home and I eat, and then I'm right on making lessons or grading, or thinking of, okay, how else can I, researching, trying to find stuff for the iPods. Very time consuming, but I feel it's totally worth it. I wouldn't want to teach any other way, because it makes such an incredible
I was going to
difference.
ask, do you want to go back to the way it was before?
No way, never.
Okay. And on another note, I can tell that you're very passionate and very energized by technology, and I know that throughout this project you are definitely a leader, and sharing what you know with other people will definitely get their energy up. How do you feel about being a leader in this project, and things to come in the future? Like, once this project is over, how will you continue being a leader for technology in school?
I actually feel really, really good about that role, because I remember 10 years ago when we had the 1995 Dells, and And when I first got on the internet here at school, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, it took 5 minutes to load a page. I was like, this is incredible. And then I start from there, and ever since then, it has just been a huge passion of mine to buy technology and bring the technology to the kids, because I know that they learn best that way. And anybody that's interested in doing that, it's like, who shares my passion, I'm right there. You know, I'm more than happy to help and to lead. I would love to even do podcasts with, you know, learning videos and stuff. A lot of the teachers send me emails through the project, but you know, I am more than happy to share my knowledge. If it makes a difference in a teacher's classroom, if a teacher has a desire to make a difference for our kids for the 21st century, you know, I will spend as much time as I need to help that teacher.
Awesome. Thank you, Tina.
Okay.